Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Duncan. Welcome to this educative platform. Here we educate people, we inform people, we empower people, and you will not leave this channel the same as long as you consume our content. And today is not any different. As you're aware, I have a series called Business Case. In Business Case, I try to give you concepts to welcome you into the world of business and just give you tips on some of the basic things that you're trying to do out there, but you probably don't have a solution. So today I have 10 ways in which you can use to determine whether your product or your services are viable or whether your idea is good enough for the market. Because sometimes you set up a business but you have not identified whether that business is actually viable. So how do you determine that the idea is actually viable and it is going to make business sense? There are 10 ways in which you can evaluate the market, both on the product side and on the market side. Number 1, how urgent is the product or service that you're trying to provide? How badly does the market need it? If you're trying to provide a solution that the market has not recognized as a problem yet, then it is not urgent. What you will have to do, you'll have to tell the market that actually there's a problem here. So you're making the market to identify the problem which they have not identified yet. And then you're going to convince them about the solution. So anytime you have an idea, a product or a service, think through whether the market urgently needs it. And if the market doesn't urgently need it, then probably you need to look at something else. Number 2, the market size. How many people are actually purchasing or actually potentially going to purchase what you're trying to sell? Sometimes people have very good ideas. Some people have excellent ideas. But the market which they're targeting or the market which can actually consume that product or service is very small. And as a result, even if everyone within that market was to purchase your product, then you cannot necessarily become the big business that you're trying to become. I'll give you an example. Think through a country that has over 100 vernacular stations or vernacular languages. And then you set up a vernacular radio station or TV station. Your market is only as wide as the people who can speak that language. So if you're trying to make a vernacular station to become a national station, it becomes a bit impossible because the people outside your vernacular language cannot understand what is being conversed. And as a result, you're limited to that market. So think through that as you're thinking about your idea. How far and wide can that idea go? Number 2, your pricing potential. Remember, you're setting up a business, you're trying to make money. So the more you can be able to charge customers and customers are willing to pay, the better. Sometimes an idea is great, sometimes a product is great, but customers are just not willing to pay for whatever it is that you're asking for. So you have to think through, what is the price that I can charge for this service? If the price is too high and the market is accepting that price, that's a good idea. If the price is too low and still the market does not accept that price, then you're probably looking at not a very good idea. The next one, cost of customer acquisition. This is usually something very silent most people overlook. For you to acquire a customer, there are costs attached to that. Either marketing, business development. Someone has to go and approach these people. Someone has to do marketing, and those are costs. So how much does it really cost you for you to be able to convince someone to purchase your product? Think about a real estate agent. Before you sell a house, it takes several meetings for you to engage with a potential client. You will incur costs of meeting these people in restaurants, in high-end places where you're going to incur costs. There are so many contractual costs that you're going to incur for that contract or that agreement to eventually be signed. So when you look at a situation like that, then it tells you that the cost of acquiring one customer is actually significant. And if you realize that the cost of acquiring a customer is higher than the potentially what you're going to make out of an idea, then you need to think through that. Think about a restaurant. Restaurants that are built or that are positioned in high traffic areas. Think about a restaurant in town. It is very easy to find a client walking into a restaurant. There is no cost attached to probably getting a client to walk into your restaurant. As long as you have already initially set up your business, the client will always just walk in. And that means restaurants that are being positioned in high traffic areas have almost very low customer acquisition costs. So you have to think through all that. The next is speed to market. Speed to market. The next idea is speed to market. How quickly are you able to produce the product, or how quickly are you able to provide the service so that the market can actually utilize it? Sometimes people come up with great ideas, but it takes a long period of time before one product is actually generated. I will give you an example. Think about a car, and then think about an aeroplane, or think about a ship. The length of time it takes for you to build a whole ship is quite long. Some ship takes years for them to be completed, yeah. But it takes a very short time for a company that manufactures vehicles for it to be able to produce one car. So it is easier. You have to look at how long can I be able to produce one product for this product to go to the market, because that means for you to if the market is demanding this product, you have to have a large workforce. You have to have very expensive and complex systems that can enable you to produce that product. And you have that. If you don't, then probably that idea is not as good as you might have thought. The other component is upfront investment. You have a brilliant idea, you have a brilliant product, but how much does it cost you initially for you to be able to set up this business? How much will you have to incur for this business to come up? If you're someone who is, again, I will use real estate as an example. If you're someone who is going to come up with an idea in the real estate, the cost of setting up just one product in the real estate is significantly very high. Do you have that? If you don't have that, how are you going to do it? You'll have to borrow. And is it a viable option then if you don't have that kind of money? So upfront investment, you have to determine that. If you don't have the financial muscle, then you want to look at ideas that do not have very high initial capital investment. Ideas that can easily be put into the market at the fastest way possible with the minimal resources possible. Yeah. The other component when you're trying to determine the viability of a market is the upsell potential. Upsell potential is what other services are you able to provide as a result of you providing this one service? Yeah. When you go to sell computers, if you're a business that sells computers, automatically customers who buy computers will need software. So so think about it on those lines. If you have a business idea, what other services are you potentially capable of selling, or the clients are potentially going to need for you to be able to provide and complete that sale? Yeah. So businesses that have upsell potential, businesses that have complementary services capable of being provided to the customers are more viable than those that do not have. Yeah. So if you are going to sell shoes, if you're selling office shoes, they will need shoe polish. That's another business opportunity above the idea that you already have. And you want to look at ideas that have complementaries like those. Yeah. The next determinant of the market is the evergreen potential. Once you have created this idea, or you have set up this product that you're trying to sell, how much more do you need for you to continue doing for that product to continue selling? There are some products that once you do the initial production, or once you do the initial service offering, the sale is complete. Now, think about a book. Once a writer has wrote the book and the book has been published, subsequently, the only thing you need to do is to produce the book. There is not so much work that the writer needs to continue doing for that book to be available in the market. So you want businesses that can easily be called an evergreen potential. They have an evergreen potential that once the initial production has been done, then there is not so much work you need to continuously do for you to be able to put that product out into the market. I will give you an example. If you're a consultant, for example, consultants the things consultants do not end. Once someone consults you on a topic or on a concept, they will continuously be coming back to you for them to make sure or to seek a further guidance. So you are not going to detach from this client until what the client wanted to be achieved to happen. So it makes you attached and connected to the client until the client is fully satisfied that the product or the service you're providing has actually worked the way they intended. So viable ideas or businesses are those that have evergreen potential. Once you have done the initial production, they can continuously sell without any more resources being directed towards that. Now, once you have these 10, once you have analyzed these 10, I want to give you the final juggernaut. Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, once you do your internal study of these points, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rank each point. Give it a measure. Give it like a 5 or a 10 or a 7 or a 4. And then add up all the marks that you have attached to each point. Now, if your point does not tally above 50, then it means that idea is not good enough. If you're going to add up all the points that you have attached to this, all the marks that you have attached to these specific points and they don't tally to 50, then that idea is not good enough and you need to leave it and look for another idea. If the idea amasses 50 to 75 percentage points, then it means the idea has a potential of succeeding in the market, but it will still need some work. It will need some investment of potentially time and money, but it means the idea has the potential to actually become something. But when you do this and you have a 75 points and above, then it means you have a very good idea and the only thing you need to do is to get into the market and to start running with it. Those are the 10 points that I wanted to pass across. If you have an idea and you're thinking of getting into the market, please pass those ideas through those 10 measures and you will be able to know whether it's a good or a bad idea. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Duncan. Please subscribe and remember to like, remember to share. Remember, this channel educates you, this channel informs you, and this channel empowers you to become a better person when it comes to business, economics, and finance. Thank you.